Hello and welcome to the Biological Channel. Allow me to preface this presentation by apologizing for my rather long absence. I'm going to try to get in close enough here. I've been struggling the last couple of months with my glaucoma, and my one cannabis supplier has been very flaky and has actually already left the state. I'll try to get it close enough here. I'll have to review this. If you can see, the tissue around my orbits is bruised from the constant washing of the exudate, which is a good thing that it's outflowing. That's good for a glaucomic. And so on, but I've been having the usual halos and other things, and it's been difficult. And here in a moment I'm going to turn the camera away from me because I really actually, I know I was too close there. These cameras, if you hold the lens too close to your face, it makes your nose look like sperm whale. And if you don't hold it above it here, so we'll continue my preface by saying it's been lovely weather. Today is July 16th or 17th. I think it's already July 17th. And it's been lovely weather here in Central Texas, despite what people say and stuff. We've gotten over 5 inches. We got 5 inches of rain within 30 days and so on. But let me get on with the topic here. The title of this program is, and please let me preface this again, is remember that the description on my channel is all things concerning life and the human condition. And so the title of today's program is taken from a To the Best of Our Knowledge program. The title was, Does Western Civilization Need Saving? At this point now, so that I don't have to keep my arm up, there's all kind of dragonflies and stuff, they keeping any sort of bugs or mosquitoes off of me, which there have been very few. But allow me to pan around. See how I'm doing here. Yeah, there you go. Now I'll mention this later here, that high cirrus with the brown tint. I can see I'm probably going to have to break this into, should have gone live streaming. I'm going to have to break this into probably into two parts. But this lesbian, I have to assume that she's a lesbian because this is originated, to the best of my knowledge, with Wisconsin Public Radio, repeated on National Public Radio, National Pervert Radio, in which instead of the interviewer saying what she really wanted to say, she found some alleged academic named Donna Zuckerman, I think was the name. And in this Zuckerman's review, she even brought up the poet Ovid, his Ars, oh gosh, what's the term? It's kind of like Ars Romantica, and essentially her, after speaking at length about the great poet Ovid, who talked about how the reality about women and stuff like that, she came to the conclusion, or was trying to come to the conclusion, that they didn't really try, was really trying to really bounce around and skip around the reel, but what you can really deduce is what she's saying is that essentially Western civilization is no better than Muslim civilization, especially in its treatment of women, stuff like that. And so, without saying it, they're essentially saying, no, Western civilization doesn't need saving. Well, actually, Western civilization has already been saved. As a matter of fact, so has Muslim civilization been saved, and it was thanks to Fritz Haber, a Polish-born German Jew who made your lives possible. What I'm going to really focus on here, I've probably got about 10 minutes that I can talk here before I have to go to section 2, is that this is now my this is actually my 25th month of having a YouTube channel. At first I had up 2 videos which I took down because but I put back up eventually. They appear to only be there a few months. They've actually, I made them years ago, and you can tell because like in one of the first videos, I'm very much overweight. I'm no longer that. I always have this mechanism that stops that. But YouTube, because it's uncensored, it really is uncensored. There's very little censorship goes on there. It gives you a real look into the fact that we Jews are the most hated people on earth. And you can't deny that. You hate Jews more than you hate blacks, and almost everything you know about Jews, except for the bad Jews who are not really Jews, as I pointed out before. They were not religious or pious Jews or, had any, but let me just start off with some simple points, which is the fact that YouTube is just covered with all this. And sometimes I'll watch a video and I get into it a little way and realize, oh, this guy he starts off with a few facts and then he starts weaving in his Jew hatred and stuff like that. I'll try to pan around to kind of keep you interested, and it's such a beautiful day and stuff. It really is. It's cool, breezy, and it's like July 17th. And oh, it's so lovely up here. It really is. But anyway, and before by my own calculations, which I'm quite sure are correct, 6 billion of you, of which most of you are Jew haters. It's real easy on YouTube. Not everybody speaks on YouTube, but you can count by the number. When somebody makes an anti-Semitic or Jew-hating remark, and you can tell by the number of subscribers to all the Jew-hate channels and stuff like that, is not everybody speaks, but you can tell by the number of likes just how great the Jew-hate is, which I know that over half the world hates us Jews out of just pure jealousy and out of ignorance, and it's because of what they were taught to do. You hate us more than you hate blacks or anybody else. But the fact is, to go back, is that at least 6 billion of you, of the more than 7 billion of people on this planet, would not even, your grandparents would not even have been born if it wasn't for one Polish-born German Jew named Fritz Haber, who created the Haber process, because at about the end of World War I, there was almost no fertilizer left on this planet. There wasn't enough human manure, animal manure, and for anybody who knows anything about chemistry and composting knows that it takes years to make, to take, vegetable material or woody material and produce maybe just 1.5 seasons where it will yield nitrogen. You can't put that stuff right into the soil. It robs it of nitrogen. Any chemist, any agriculturalist knows that, and so on. And to further continue on the topic of Fritz Haber and stuff, is that a lot of you YouTubers are crediting Fritz Haber with being the father of chemical warfare. That's not true. That's your Jew hate bias and your pathetic education. It was actually the very lovely and wonderful Sir Michael Faraday, an Englishman of no known Jewish connection, who created the first poison gases. It was phosgene, as I recall, who, as I've told you before, he refused the Queen's command to produce his famous poison gas for the Crimean War, and yet in his old age she put him up in one of her cottages, which is to you what we call a McMansion. So, and right now I'm also pointing at, see, this field is so nice and green in the middle of July, and has, a usable amount of hay on it and stuff like that. The reason it's still green is because we got decent rain, and because of the ammonium nitrate that was produced by the Haber process. This hay and stuff that I'm looking at, showing you right now and stuff, which is not all of it, this is what is putting the beef on your table tonight, and stuff. That's a Jew putting the meat on your table. If it weren't for Fritz Haber, the population of Earth would be probably only 1 billion, and the oceans would be completely empty of any life at all, including seaweed, which the English started using hundreds of centuries ago, pulling it up. The Irish and English started pulling seaweed up out of the oceans to use it as organic material for fertilizer, although it does rot quicker than a lot of other things. But I also want to make it, remind you that it was a Jew that created the internet. It was a Jew that created the cell phone. It was a Jew that created Google. The very method that I'm now communicating with you now on, and that you're being allowed to freely call me a kike and tell me you want to kill me and that all kikes should die and be thrown in the oven, was created by a Jew. And we Jews do believe in free speech. Yeah. As long as it's not incitement to riot, etc. A lot of you are alive today because of the vaccines created by Jews. Really, let's think about it. For any ethnic group, the largest winner of Nobel Prizes have been us Jews. And one of the primary points I want to make out to all you Jew haters is that the Jews that you hate are the same Jews that I hate, because they're not really Jews. They're violating all the laws of my people and stuff. And while I got it here, I know I have a tendency to jump around a lot. It's because I really don't script these programs and so on. Is that I want to remind, because I just recently had to dump my 20-year Roman Catholic friend because of an apparent double standard he had in ethnics in his own head. That finally came out and so on. And I want to remind all you people that keep getting on the Jews is that the Catholics who ruled Europe will refuse to allow us to own land, although my family was beating that in England. We went stealth a long time ago. Long time ago. But since we couldn't own land, we got into money loaning. And so that's why a lot of you hate us, is because you forced us into a particular professions and so on, and then you hate us after you created the problem for us and stuff. It's so before I close here and stuff like that, it's going to be just part one. Is I want you to get a look at that sky. You notice it isn't blue? That's the second big dust storm that's come in from the Sahara off of Africa. Kind of came almost 7,000 miles. That should be blue when that's actually very mist. That's high cirrus clouds that are full of brown. See, without me doing a split screen comparison to what a clear sky looks like compared to that, you wouldn't really realize that that's a ton. It's several 100 million tons of African dust that's blown in. I don't think it's going to bring us any precipitation this time, which last time it did. Forgive the shakiness. I need to brace my arms and stuff like that. But my point is that to reiterate, I had to listen to some pervert cameo radio, a couple of lesbians talking about, even citing the poet Ovid to justify their social justice warrior defense of Muslims, who are the greatest threat to this world. I want to remind all you Muslims and all you Jew haters that the reason that you're alive at all and the reason that you have food on your plate tonight is because of us Jews. We saved Western civilization. This is the end of part one. I'll go to part two here shortly. Thank you for your time.